The clone stamp and the healing tool are similar in many ways. They both replace parts of an image using nearby reference data from the same image. So how do these tools differ? I'm going to use an example of tidying up flyaway hairs in a portrait to show the strength of each tool and how they can be used in unison to get the job done. We can be in pretty much any program we want for this. Photoshop, GIMP, Lightroom. In this case, I'm in Affinity Photo. Let's start with a simplified drawing so we can investigate exactly what the healing brush and the clone stamp are doing. The action of the clone stamp is quite easy to visualize. When we select a clean part of the image by clicking with the Alt key pressed, the tool copies that part of the image and paints it over the area that we want to cover up. It's a direct replacement, but there's still a couple of things we can do to tailor the end result. One, we can soften the edge of the brush so that the stamp is softer. Two, we can lower the opacity of the layer we're on so that the cloning blends in with the original image a little bit better. And three, we can use a blend mode within the tool itself if we'd like to only clone over lighter or darker parts. That's really useful for skin retouching and things like rogue grey hair removal. The healing brush, like the clone tool, also uses one part of an image to alter another, but in a slightly different way. With the healing brush selected, you can sample a clean part of the image by clicking on it while holding the Alt key on the keyboard. The healing brush is in its element when the thing we'd like to remove is isolated. The tool takes data from around the edge of the circle and fills it in the circle to get rid of the blemish. It's using data around the brush circle to inform how it heals within it. As a quick aside, there's an alternate tool that does the same thing but in the opposite way. The patch tool allows you to select the blemish first and then choose the source area for the patch. I don't think it's as fast as using the vanilla healing brush, but if you've got a blemish in a tricky area, it might help with getting the perfect result. Where it gets tricky is when the blemish goes beyond the tool's selection area. When we try and shorten this simplified drawing of a strand of hair, it's clear that the area we healed now has a colour gradation from one side to the other. This smudging isn't the result we're after, so there must be a better way of dealing with hair. Let's go back to the clone stamp. We can cover up the end of the hair without the smudging that we saw with the healing brush. This works pretty well, and it might be the only tool you need when the background has an even tone. Here's an example where the background is not even. It has a gradation. If we're really careful, we can select a sample area where the background has a similar tone to the area we'll cover up, but it's not always this easy, and in reality, we might select a slightly different background tone, which gives a smudging look just like the healing brush did by mixing the background and the hair colour. With detailed and focused work, the smudging effects can be avoided, but we can mitigate this problem quite often simply by using a large healing brush after the clone stamp. Because the healing brush blends one area to another, it can ease the transition in the place the clone stamp had failed. Let's go back to that real world example. So here I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to pick the healing brush tool and make sure that I'm on my current layer and below. The healing brush will do a great job on the flyaways that are away from other pieces of hair. But if I get to an area where there's more than just a single strand of hair, it starts to get a little bit blurry. And when I zoom out, it looks smudged. I'll undo that and we'll go back to the clone stamp tool. In this case, we can choose a softer brush and we can remove a significant amount of the flyaways without any of that smudging. And here's the before and after of that little tidy up. It looks significantly neater. If you've watched this far, then I'll share with you a technique for really difficult patches of flyaways, because the clone stamp and healing tools can only go so far. The nuclear option is to copy an area that's already looking good and paste it into a new layer. You can get the selection from the base image or from a flattened copy of all your adjustments if that's what's needed. This patch can be stretched, squeezed, liquefied, rotated, or whatever else you need to do to get it settled in the right place. Lowering the opacity can help with figuring out where to place it. You can either use a layer mask or even the eraser tool with a soft edge to blend in the patch to the underlying image. The healing tool is great for isolated blemishes, but the clone stamp tool is the one you need for flyaway hairs. Just remember that the healing tool can mop up the mess the clone stamp makes on some occasions.